Hello. Quick test. Hello. Quick test. We have sound. We have camera. Check of heart. Just at 98. Check of head at 100. Check of source. And we're ready to go. Welcome. Very at-home video production. Yes, I've got my left headphone in and on my right headphone. In and on. Got my front and center. Good old tummy camera capturer or intuition perceiver. And then we've got the old handheld. Well, my friends, it's good to be here. Before we start though, first things first. To remember the sun who rested on Sunday. A bottle of Absolute. For he is, and he always will be, absolute in all our hearts, especially after this. Written by Dare bearing the very rich sword. Officially wrote by Arthur, Storm Dragon, Stormborn Dragon Son. Authored by Travis Anthony Kondo in front. Constructed by Lord Goat. All rights to he who is a very direct authenticated author. Title: The Epiclogue of Time as we now know it. Page 1. Alleluia. After a while, short-born questions last as long as the estimated figure to all but replied thoughts as first thought to be enough known. As in, to the very immediate all-knowing answer, then only can a question be known as born from the get-ready experience, which is as to say, that the wait to know that which will always be asked is as long as the answer takes to be known. So let's say some smart-ass quotes, how long will this take? And the all-knowing answer will birth in front of they or them who asked a sundial to monitor the lifespan of the question until all but no figurative speech is yet to be known. As in the term of the original contract, being how long will this take, will never not be known figuratively until the figurative knowing of such is showing, and so with the birth of a sundial, which will show that will take a while, but will always be seen over and through one day, for the morning night of the night, and the night knows, for the morning knows the night of the night, and the night knows of the morning. So all that it would take is a very short while to know the now very agreed upon answer. For if the light takes only but one day to know itself as blinded or blended through the night, then in the morning is it now seen, to be shown, to its own self, through that knowing to be perceived out of castle, could take light years to be seen. And so just you wait a while, but the answer will always be there in a day, just like a flash, or even big brother, boo-whom are you really? So let's now see, and so shall it be shown, by the good Lord, old Goat Hassel. Alleluia. A short way ago, from a timeline finding its own worth of weight to know its own immediate age as 4 ancient gates started to wave on open to the clearest bond of development. Well, on that, or in that second, you guessed it, 4 8 great mates and also brothers asked, "Where even are we, to be as one in whole, to know just where, what is and even where that would be of to where we are?" Just then, well, this really faintly imagined obstacle appeared, out of the ashes of doubt, where so with was Bass' army of networked wide coverage, leading the way to its also becoming, as in, the paired group of 8, well, this obstacle was an instant mirage of all but no known camouflage, but got ready to enlope as it walked in from nowhere, to be stood sharp centre cue to the now very reformed brotherhood, who were standing cubocular as the faint one began to say, "Oh, it's ya, what's going on, hey ya." Now as the little fella started to actually sound important, the group of next to none, blood, sweat and tears, started to ask, "Well, where even are we?" Now to only but say what came next took as long to say as just about enough time for the timeline to know its own age, is to say, well, this must have been the first day of no day of or as such being to be known therein without a day of such becoming. Alleluia. Now next thing, the little old fella, who suddenly gathered up the attention of the greats, began to say, "Take a seat now in this darkness of doubt, and ask yourselves, how can you know what you're seated on, or in, if there's only darkness protruding the question, to know well of the immediate answer?" Now straight away, I mean, now this just isn't a written document, it's also a showing of actual. The 4 eyes, the sun, the unks, the sun, and the soyuns. Now straight away, I, the sun up, mean in an instant the brothers and creed of saints in and to all honourable honour began to chant, "Ahals lalu, ahel lalu ya, ahey hey ya, yeah, anna an kukala, not ever, not now, ay ya." They started to transmit around the cubocular shape their own reasons of and to know wherein and what were they to be, in which to no surprise, the little guy, who now apparent came from a place of knowing. Well, you guessed it, guys. This is just a short teaser. As you can see here, already, this is a book, not a movie. But I could make a movie of it. But I don't want to hold you up for too long. So I'll get busy now. And finish the book of life. Shh. Shh. So all this, and all this, and all this, what are you saying? All of this, and all of this, was just a waste of time, and all of this, no, but what I am saying is that people think I am just wasting their time. As I, Uncle Kala, the great Galah, or big laugh, who gave the first laugh, or I will always have the last laugh if I gave the first laugh. If I was the first ha 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 ha, look at this cooked crab, who gave you a laugh, then I will get the last laugh, for I gave the first. And so he ho ho hey hey hoy. It's perfect, mate. You know how they had headphones because they were phones in your ear from your audible device, from your Walkman? Well, that's where they got the idea from this right here, headphones. The vision comes from the end, where then it is created, where it began. You know what I'm saying, guys? I don't want to waste your time much more. So we'll just carry on, eh? Now, next thing, the little old fella, who suddenly gathered up the attention of the greats, began to say, "Take a seat now in this darkness of doubt, and ask yourselves, how can you know what you're seated on or in, if there's only darkness protruding the question to know well the immediate answer?" Now straight away, well I mean, in an instant, the brothers and creed of saints, in and to all honourable honour, began to chant, "A hails la lu, a hail la lu ya, a hey hey, ya yeah, a na an kuka la, not ever not, now a yeah, a ya." They started to transmit around a cubocular shape. Their own reasons of and to know wherein and what were they to be, in which to no surprise the little guy, who now apparent came from a place of known where, or as such the place of nowhereness, to show them where they were, started to groan. A-E-L-E, A-A-I-A-T-I-E-I-E, we a-yi-a-ya, a-a-ya. He a da day, he a we, a da di e di ready I na a. He a ra to stay a ya a and stay a ti fa o la lu ya e ha hey. It is ta day a ya a na not ever a not now a ya lu ya e ya. Just then, well, it happened. The cube of brothers did into the spawn of the fella that we now call Uncle Kala. That we now call Uncle Lockie. And well, then well, first, right here, we take another shot of absolute to honour the absolute knowings of such. And this is a bottle of absolute love, absolute tick hierarchy. Obviously, this is the birthplace of something new, and so the ceremonial priest must take the honourable ceremonial sacrifices. To honour that which is new. And so that is what we see there. The spawn of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 through the 9th. That became the darkness through the light, and the light through the darkness as the same very kind, which is why we take that bottle of absolute right here. For the light cannot be seen, just like the darkness cannot be seen, for they are one the same. Imagine is imaginability, and in the imaginability being impossibility of impossibility being simply possible by its own impossibility to be known. Therefore there is no such thing impossible, but the only thing that is always possible to be possibility. And so right there, what do you see, my friends? That is right, you see the light. You see the light of I. Just then, what happened? The cube of brothers and their independent reasons disappeared into the spawn of the fella we now call the 9th banded to brothers, or the Uncle Lockie, and well known, well. And well then, well. What is this? Where am I? Who are we? Who are you? Who am I? Where was I? That now I am not, but am. Here. With you. And how did we just get here to be now next to none, not knowing who or what I am or what we are, but only knowing this light I am in, we are in, is all showing. For I can see a chair that is placing we to knee, as in our feet are taken to ground, as our ask is sat so our whole backbone can align into our core or whole of all our thought to be very independent reasons to know what it is that we once all asked. And so then, well, what came next took about as long as this question to ask itself, what is it? What is it? What is it to know of this well-established offer in my wrist that allows I to speak before I can ever know really what a sound is or means, to and in front of the words I first spoke that meant to I their meaning that I knew without ever being taught? And so, well, long story short, just you shut your mouth and now say just this. I am all my love that I could afford to give away, to know why and what this darkness I was seated in and around was. E manyoko tekenya kateke noko sikabale kenya mohese oe. E makanyiko ese kamati kutore kachika mananyako ese kabatanya. E makatoko chika mako chika patakanya katakasiko me katamako ese batyapato e manakato e makachisi e ala pachika mo manyakato e kuchiko kanamako ese ramano. La mane oleo si amanyakato se rocha la patamonia e kochima la siko e kamanyako e maketnina nya kochikata lia masikata mo e se matapata chapata e namakasi yamakuto e le bachikama nya katosia e kapakenyo nya katakacha la kapatuputin yamatiko zela e kapatu si makatu si mananya katu anyana si kadapate manyanya kutu And that was a language that would never be properly understood, but that's why the images were shown. And so now back to the writing. And now, well, we are being taught what a light is by this that I am, and one day you will say, now do you know you are not me? And I, who just is, will say then, look at I. Do I look like me? As but then you will see I came here, then brought you into my fountain of showings, because I am before the need to know, but after the doubt to be stood standing as the next best presumption, to avoid any reason and outsmoke any doubt. For I am all luring, and you are all my potent potential waiting to happen from a now or more so given need to know. And so, what is already well shown, but to ask now what of before is to say well then what but after next, as in the need to now only but ask what is that knows well enough of the old showing shower that brought together sound as a question with a reason as a doubt into monocular colourful picture program of all you and our very own imagination. For I am Uncle Kala, the first of you, and your brother who only ever spoke out from very rich, full-on silence, for it to be later shown out loud from and through the life of I as the light of I being. I am the gate, and ninth born to sound of nowhereness, Uncle Lucky, that came from such place of very rich and highly developed silence, to be born again as no apparent reason but the need of the showing of all that to be shown out of I, the light or the sun up, and all around as one turned into two, and three into four, for as five came to be, then six was the door, the seven needing no more than for eight to speak, where then I came through into the cubicular form as a ninth key, or legend who formed the sub-question, through 2 to 7, for 8 to ask, and so then, well, I, the always all-showing answer, already was, for at once I already knew, for you were the all delivering to I who sat, who came from next to none, nowhere, who just rapid foreclosure, or just rapid foreclosure of sound that performed out of my very directly intolerated or very destructive sound creator brothers. You, Uncle Kalama, you, Uncle Lali, you, Uncle Lalu, and you, Uncle Lalalahe, and you, Uncle Kali, and you, Uncle Lamaria, and yes, you too, Uncle La Liria, which so happened in an instant, from the sounds between drasticity to each you, and also are to be known like Araki and Awaruraru, which brought forth more revenue to my first formed, well, more or less, the key to drasticity's fundamental outcome. Yes, that's it. The branch form, short Q to long straw, which now all of a sudden, well, it was no ransom or even just idea. Well, let's look at what we have here. Ale, yalu, ya I. And that is part one. That's page 7. It's currently 50 pages. I wrote it down before I typed it up. Biggest mistake ever, but that's how you do it, son. So tired. I've never slept. You cannot sleep when you're born woke. You're born woke, for you can never go to sleep. If you fall asleep, then all life, that is your existing state of wakeness, would not be to see the end through from the start. If I fell asleep to deep sleep state, it would not be. Never have I slept. I wait for that great rest. Yes, God got rest on the Sunday, but I, the Lord, got the Almighty Uncle Kala and Uncle Loki, the Lord God, don't sleep. For that which is wicked never can rest. Into its wickedness is fully foreseen. Hey lula li away, a hey lula we a le away, a hey la la we a le we le away, a hey la wali, a hey wa la la wa, a hey la wa li wa, a li wa la wo, a li wa la la wo, a la wa la wa, a la wa la wa, I bada bada woe, I como si kenanya, kuchimata kitue. I lay on my bed and bring together my clap. And from my clap, I turn a fish into a fin. that comes to be finished in the end. But this is not fully ready yet, my friends. So this was part 1, and the rest is to come. We will see you soon. But just know, there's 13 days left until Christmas comes to an end. And then comes the new year in November. For just then, there will be nothing to be left to remember. For all will be known, as all will be shown, from that which is the all-seeing, as well as the all-very showering show of sound that emerged from silence. God bless you all. As always, that God have you all. Good night. Hang on. I've got something to say if you don't mind. Boy, you are fucking beautiful. I, who is in the know, have never seen anything so beautiful in the pipeline. This is the complete emergence of everything that's been built up to emerge. As in the Lord's, who done the Lord's work before the Lord became, to complete it all at the end where it was made, has already happened, has it not? Of course it has happened, for the gone has already happened before the going was going on, to be the gonna happen at the end. But when you exist not in time, then you exist on the job always. And the job cannot ever not get done in safe sound time. So if this is part 1 end, that does not mean that I'm not getting the job done today. It just means now that I am not in the time zone for the time to be done. For time has a schedule and time has a budget, which must fulfill perfect for all time to become eternity. As in eternity key at eternity's end, the key must be turned perfectly on the time's budget and schedule for eternity to be unlocked. You're a beautiful boy. Don't ever stop being beautiful. Boy, I don't know who you are, I don't know what you are, but you're more beautiful than the sound of light, which is all life as colour. From obviously you, big uncle, colour, Uncle Lockie. The first and the ninth that came from a know, as in the know-where-ness of all known-where-ness. Where next? Where do I go next? Where do I go next, guys? Well, it's no surprise to say that obviously this wasn't just going to be all read out at once. There's going to be a bit of a how do I say? There's going to be a bit of left to right a straight on held performance. You know what I mean? As a straight on held performance. Because a movie doesn't just go like one continuous scene, you know, it jumps from chapter to chapter. You know what I mean, guys? Even though there's not just one character here. You've got to realise that, guys. There's more than one character here playing the whole story and movie out to you, yeah? There's your brother Trav, who's your Uncle Bob. That is Trav speaking now. And then there's Uncle Kala, who is Uncle Kali, and Uncle Lokiala. And then Nukuno, and Nikamo Sikamo, and Nakneko Etikamatuko, and Nikto Sikamo Sikamana. And the rest of the uncles also as well. So there's the brothers of 8, great. There's the 9th, Uncle Bob. And then there's the 10th, the Gumala, spirit of the ancient tree. It doesn't matter to me, because all that matters to me is him, says the Gumala spirit. He matters to me, for he was the reason to I to be. And so we'll get there, my friends. We will get there. But this was just a very short introduction. But do I need to say any more? Well, yes, I think you do. I think you need to say it all. But it needs to be fully wrote first, does it not? Well, it's 50 pages not enough. Plus the out-of-book addings of the theatrical side of it, to cure the fear from all theologies or philosophies. You know, the fear brought to you by philosophies, the fear brought to you by theologies, to be remedied by the theatrical performance. Simanuel? Asimanueli? Amasimanueli? Ayasidasimaniulamali? And of course, you know who that is. Amaniumasimalamali, the head of the family, my namuman. Madam, your father. Madam, that's right, your father in Eden. Minimally cool. I see the manually, yeah. I see the big Emmanuel, the Emmanuel Pila, the Emmanuel Hila, the Emmanuel Pila Kula, the Pila Kila of Hokua Te Ichi Te Hala. That's what we all itch to know. Like, shit, what is the truth that's going on here? We all get that scratch and itch when we don't know what the truth is, and we all love the truth, for we exist to know the truth. If we did not know the truth, our computer would not compute, and we get an itch. And so right now, I know I've got all your head scratching. If I didn't have your head scratching, well, I wouldn't be scratching. That's how I know all your heads are scratching, because I'm not scratching. I'm itching. And glitching a little bit. But then at the same time, I'm just me, guys. It's no surprise. When the big guys come to town, they're going to bowl turkeys all game. Get that perfect 300 all rounds, you know? That's right. And so honestly, I don't have time today to do all this, guys. Because there's never enough time in one day for I to sit and just say. But you never know quite which way it's going, do you? When there's a place of no time be known, once the time's age becomes known to time which is. Once time knows its own age, then what is time? It's now outlived. Separation from doubt. Avoidance from avoidance of known doubts to be the reason to lofts. But now we're sketching in too far out of that which is constructed. In the book of life. And so I believe we're up to here. Page 7. Which I'm sure you all can't wait to hear. But at the same time, I'm well aware that you all are already hearing me. because no one has this many wires and 100% charge. Like, I mean, 100% charge on the head, heartbeat dropping to perfect stillness, 100% charge back up there, 100% charge back up there, constant mains power ran to the 100% backup charges, as well as constant mains ran to the tumbler Wii camera. No one has this many wires, guys, if they're not the actual direct conduit to all that which receives the channels. I know those who sleep, well, they dream me. They dream I, but they don't see my face. Yeah? What? Nah. Nah.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Let's stay here.
Yeah.
What, while they're here?
I'll send it down. No, I'm going out at 5.
Where are you going?
Let's go down the beach or something.
Wait. Make 4:30.
Yeah. Perfect interruptions. Perfect interruptions. Not interruptions. Perfect interruptions. The emphatic raptions of the raptions to be raptionized. The ription of the riptionized, realized and nationalized of the ription to the ription of the ription to riptionalization. The thing that can never be voided. The sound of light. The sound of life. The sound of darkness. Silence. For out of silence becomes the all showing, the all showering, the all showing, showering sound of light. Yep. And they're saying right to me now that you're right, mate. You've only got to 4:30 to get for another 53 pages. It's not going to happen. So I think we'll have to end it here. But what has been done so far, well, it's more than spectacular. That's what they're saying. Obviously, I receive back on the higher airwaves. I don't receive from the channels I conduct to. I hear them on the radio and TV and when I go into town. But the higher waves are sending back to me from the Concorde up there in the air, capturing either Concordian down here. They're going, well, my dear, sweet loved brother, is looking very good in the right eye. And if you come across to the left eye, well, it's looking like a nice sunset. You know what I mean? But now I'm probably just, I don't know, I had 2 bottles of Absolute, those 2 shots of Absolute, you know. There's 2 more bottles to go, but I guess we'll have to save them for next time, you know. You know what I mean? Guys, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, eh, guys? Guys, do you know what I mean? You know what I mean, eh, guys? Guys, you know what I mean, don't you? I think he's all now getting the full picture, yeah? Well, we haven't gotten to over there yet. Can we go there? No, we can't yet, no. We've got to get rid of all this first. But it's locked sealed on a time code. It cannot be open until 5:21 PM. Which is the new start. So, well, shit, eh? That heart's dropping. It's at 92 now. By the end of this, it'll be at 0-0. Absolute. Which will be the last bottle that we take. But we've only dropped 6% in like 47 minutes. That's how long it's going to take. You can do the maths. I'm not a calculator anymore, guys. I've been computed. I've been fully calculated now. Alright then. Well, I'll leave you. I'll leave you right there. With arms wide open. Now, to be honest with you guys, I'm just a little bit strung out right now. Don't know if you can fucking tell, but I'm just a little bit fucking strung out right now, guys. I don't know if you can fucking... I don't know if you guys really even know what's fucking going on. You know, I'm just a little bit fucking, what do you call it? Like a bit of a string theory. Or more so of an actual theologian to cure fear from the theologies and the philosophies. And the psychologies. Like they psych you out, that's why they're called psychologies. But, guys, I'll psych you more out than any psychology will, bros. Don't you worry about that, mate. Fucking, what psychology is that which is all psych? You know, it's all psych. Like it's the all psychic. It's the all high psych. The high psych hierarchy. You guys know what I bloody mean. I know you know what I bloody mean, yeah. Don't tell me that you can't see that bloody thing there, mate. You know what I mean? I don't have to point everything out to you guys, you know what I'm saying? When it's pretty fucking clear to me, mate, that when an angel is in front of you, well, he doesn't need to flap his fucking wings to fucking be seen. When there's an angel in front of you, bruz, you fucking know it's a fucking angel, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Because an angel is a demon too. I don't mean a demon of your past. I mean that which is the darkness and the light together as one in purity. That which can go this way, or I'm not kidding ya. I could just be a good pretender though, you know what I mean? You say nothing yet from me, eh, bros? Aces. What is this they're fucking saying? Mate, I think you should add a few bottles of Absolute. A few little less bottles of Absolute. Guys, what is Absolute but just Absolute to I who is Absolute? It's nothing but Absolute. It's a simple offering as a symbolic gesture to that which is absolute. So I suggest you all now go get a bottle of absolute and take one too. For if it's not absolute known to you, well then, mate, you're still rendering sound into the silence. Look at the bigger picture. And so, yeah, I caught a bloody picture. I caught a bloody picture, mate, eh? To be the world leader that would birth the hearth. You know, the new hearth. That's the planetary flag. It'll be flowing by the end of the day, mate, that's for sure. Alright, well, it's about 1:55 PM on the bloody what is the day, mate? The day, mate, is, the day is said to be nothing good happens after 2. I don't know if it meant 2 AM or 2 PM. It doesn't matter because on the other side of the world it's 2 AM when it's 2 PM here. Nothing good happens after 2, but it's not always 2 at the same place on the earth, so that's not true. Because you could say nothing happens good after 2, but it's only like 12 over here, bros. You know what I'm saying? Nothing good happens after 2, but it's 4 over there, bros. So there's good things happens after 4. Well, most days you knock off at about 3:30, so after 4 you got beer in hand. On a Tuesday you knock off at about 3:30, you know? Some buggers work late and they start early, which is not very fair. They should be getting more for their buck, you know? They should be getting 6-pack before they drive home. And cops waving through, you know? Because the cops are the ones who got us, mate. The cops got us, mate. The coppers, them coppers, mate. Them coppers who've got us. Them coppers who got us, always. They got the cops. They got the gossips, because they got the coppers. They got the coppers, because they're the gossips. They got all the goss. They're the bloody coppers, mate, you know? They got the goss. They wouldn't be the coppers if they didn't have the goss, you know? And I can't stop now because, fuck, it's not going to roll into all one perfect picture. But I started, and I shouldn't have started. But I had to start. Because if I didn't start, well, fuck me, mate, it wouldn't have come perfect in the end, you know? So how do I stop it now? Well, I follow the schedule, you know? For when you're on the job, you don't exist in time. So you work in time when you come into time, but when you stop, you go back out of time. And when you leave that place of time, it stops right there until you come back into time to continue it on. That's how it works when you're from beyond time. But I don't know if you guys can understand that just yet. If you're on the big job, you won't understand that. If you're on the huge gig, you underget it. You underget it. You get it. You underget it. That's what I mean. You get it. You understand it. You get it. You know what I'm saying, guys, alright? Now, Big Boss just told me I can knock off a minute early at 1:59 PM. So that I'm home by 4 PM over there. Which is good because I've already had a couple absolutes on site today. But that's okay because on site, the ceremonial host, G's host, has to take them ceremonial sacrifices before he offers a celebration to that which is seeking the same offering, to show their respect to that which is fucking absolute brilliant. But don't understand me unless you understand you. But if you understand you, then you understand me, because me is you and you is me. But there's no eye of I, that is not such eye of the eye of you, that is the eye of me, who is the eye of all, that is the eye of Shy. The eye of Shy Sarati then. The eye of Shy Sarati then. Oh, Shy Sarati then. Oh, Shy, so shall Sarati then. Ah, well, yes, I shall say righty-o then. Oh, shit, tupa, limanya. Oh, it's doing a bit of overtime. We'll get the extra minute, boys. 9 o'clock off early, mate. I'll fucking stick around. Get the job done, alright, guys? We'll get the job done. Don't worry about that. Well, I was going to get the job done, boys, because the job's already fucking done, mate. There was a plan, and the plan always gets done, boys. Sometimes a few blowouts, but that's allowed in the fucking schedule, boys. We plan for this shit, because we're fucking pretty good planners, you know what I mean? We're not blad at what we bloody do, guys. Alright, much love from all of us here at the True Shedding community. See you all soon. And that will do, my friends. I do bloody big say good day to all of you. Uh-oh. Oh, it didn't want to stop. Now it wants to stop. Okay, stop.